Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Tuesday, and I think we might have a typhoon headed this way. The winds this morning have been really bad. This is the first time I've had to close the windows on the west side of the house since I got back in the end of July. Anyway, we are taking down some of the banana trees back here. One particularly because it's leaning on the side of the kubo here. And Ponciano and I are working on trying to get this banana tree down that has all the bananas. We're going to take this one down, cut it down to the ground, and harvest the bananas. This is the second of the big bunch of bananas, the saba, that we want to use for cooking, for freezing, for smoothies, and for just plain eating. So that's what we're working on right now. So we're going to try to get this down without doing any damage here in this corner of the yard. Let's get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Okay, well, you remember that 100 kilo, that 220 pound piece of manhole cover that I replaced with the composite wooden back. Well, what you see there, that is what remains of the manhole cover. I've been out here for the last hour with a chisel and a sledgehammer, breaking this thing apart so that we can actually dispose of it, because it was too heavy for anybody to come by and pick this thing up and throw it in the back. Remember, it took two of my guys, and they struggled with this huge bar to try to get this out of the cistern lid hole. It was crazy. So I got that done. I don't want you to think I'm not doing anything around here, because I am. I'm working on as many projects as I can in the background. Still, it's 10:30. The guys are on break over there behind me. They've taken their first quarter break, and what they're doing is they've completed the main posts. But what I did an inspection. I went all the way around the yard on the inside and the outside, and let me tell you, this is what will happen. This is one of those things I talk about, you needing to have oversight, because if you have nobody looking and you don't have a foreman who is watching over the job, a competent foreman, I'm talking about one who knows what's supposed to be and what is not supposed to be, then you'll end up getting things like what had happened here, which was down at the bottom. You see this section right here, this entire section right here, there was nothing there because this dirt over here was piled up against it. And eventually that's going to be moved, all that pile of dirt. When this yard is purchased, my neighbor, and I think it's going to be one of the subscribers already put in a request for this lot. But when this yard starts flat, when they come and make it nice and flat for the building of the house, all this soil that's up against my fence over here right now is going to be gone. It's going to be leveled, and it's going to expose the bottom of this fence post, and there wouldn't have been any stonework, and I would have had to put some more stonework in from whatever I had left over. And so what, I went down this entire section down here, and there's about 5 posts on this end, and I'll show you on the other side what I'm talking about also. And they're going to be finishing that up today. It's going to take a little bit longer to get to the planters because we have to finish this up properly. But I'll show you what I'm talking about on the northwest side of the yard. So these are the things that I'm talking about. You see this area right here where there's no stonework here? Well, it had a little bit of soil pushed up against it, but the ground level is below that. And it kind of gets worse back here. You'll see this section right here. I cleaned this out, and this still requires more stonework to be done, but it's really bad back here. If you look back here on this section right here, this part of, and this is the corner, and it's really important that the area where you're looking at when people are walking by, you don't see all these defects. Now, this is what I'm talking about also. When there was soil pushed up against this wall, all they ran the plastic coat right to where the soil is. So you see that big gap right there? And this is not bad because we can fill this and we can cover this with some soil when we put our plants, and you won't notice that. But you should see in some areas around the fence line, they just left this big gap. I'm talking about a big gap about this big. And what will end up happening, and it's mainly on the side, on the east over there, when they develop that yard over there, and when they excavate it, when they clear it, and the land drops down just a little bit, what I'll have to do, or my neighbor, because that's kind of like my neighbor's side, I don't know. And anyway, we will figure that out. And we'll do a fill-in at the bottom on the other side over there, and we'll make it look nice. We'll match up the paint, and I'll work with my neighbor on that. Now, something else I did, I moved all of the gravel and the sand that I had in the front. Remember, I removed it so that I could drop the grass blocks down a lower level, but it was all in the street, and it was in the front, and there was no need for it to be there. So I want to keep the front clean. And this is our construction area right here, the sand, the sifter, and the gravel for making the concrete mix. So I went ahead and moved all that back here. And it's already kind of a mixture, but it doesn't really matter because this is going to be mixed with sand anyway when they do the cement inside there. And if it rains, the next time it rains, most of the sand is just going to sift through all this rock over here. Now I want to show you something. When I got off track yesterday and started ranting on about PLDT, which I still have not heard from PLDT. It's 10:30 in the morning. My service still isn't up, and this is day 5. Day 5. You know what? I need all of you. If every one of you, 13,000 of you, will call up, please flood the lines with PLDT and tell them to get my internet service back on so that you can get your videos. I don't know if that's going to work, but isn't that a concept? Well, what I did when I was talking to you yesterday about something I was working on, then I went off on the PLDT tangent. Let me show you what I was actually working on yesterday. And I got a little bit of a problem with it, but we're going to address it tomorrow. So this is what I worked on yesterday. I went ahead and mounted the casters, the spring-loaded casters that assist, and they're already working, assisting with the door. I have more room. Some of the tension is on this side right here. I still need to do some adjustments. And the problem now, let me talk about the problem. This one is good. When I open this, the only thing I need right now, I have to get with my ironworks maker, and I'm going to give him some of my spare. One of the reasons I always tell you to save construction material, I have some more of this grating that's left over, and we're going to take some pieces of the very wide section of the flat bar, and we're going to weld it inside these areas so that the wheel will roll over this flat area and doesn't pop inside these holes right here. It doesn't really do it. It will damage the caster wheel, and it makes it very difficult to get in and out. So they will come on Wednesday and they will fix that. Now this one is tracking perfect. It goes, and I have no problem with the way they welded it. But the other one that I have over here, this one, it's kind of dark in here. Sorry about that. But this one right here, when they welded it, what happened is it moved when they welded it. And I saw it move, and I was so afraid they wouldn't get it back online, and it didn't get back online right. It is too much angled in this direction. So when you open a door, it's dragging and bending this wheel. It's going to damage it. It will end up breaking it. So what they have to do, it has to have all these little spot welds on here cut, again, and realigned, and they're going to come to the house and do that. What are you going to help with today's video? Or are you going to just lay there and expect somebody to scratch your tummy? I think you're going to expect somebody to scratch your tummy, which is only me around here. So anyway, what they're going to do is they're going to cut these little wells here. We're going to realign. It's got to go out. It has to go this way a little bit more, and then it will track perfectly. Next, once that gets done, they're going to have to also, like I said, they're going to have to come back out here, and they're going to have to put the plating over here so that the wheel tracks over and doesn't go down inside the holes of the grating. And again, I have extra grating somewhere back inside here. I don't know. Oh, here, it's back here in this area. See, I have lots of leftover of the grating. So that's why I always say, don't get rid of your residual or leftover pieces, even small pieces of granite. Do you see how handy the granite has come? Even tile. Wait till the entire construction project is over. Save some extra pieces in case you have any damage later on and you can't get that specific type of tile or a piece of granite or whatever. Just keep it stored away somewhere hidden in a non-conspicuous storage area. And then if you ever need it, then you don't have to worry about trying to find and source that item out. So anyway, it's their snack time. I've been working really hard this morning. I'm gonna go upstairs, get some water, get a small snack, and then go on to the next project, which I don't know what that is yet. Well, what a horrible day it's been today as far as the wind goes. Luckily, we haven't had a lot of rain. We've been getting little sprinkles every now and then, but it hasn't slowed down the workers from finishing up the stonework on the fence post. Now, I identified all those spots that I told you earlier at the bottom of many of the posts, and they're going to continue to work on that. They would have started directly after lunch on this area right here, but I think now they're going to focus to try to close that out, which means I'm not sure if they are even going to get to this today. Now, I will tell you, this is Tuesday, and they won't be back until Friday after today, because as many of you are aware, we're going into a holiday. We're going into October 31 and to November 1. You have All Souls Day and All Saints Day. Those are the two big holidays here that are celebrated and observed in the Philippines. So these two gentlemen will be out with their families as well, celebrating and observing those holidays as a respect to those who have passed within their family in the past. So that means there's going to be nothing going on for building here in the next 2 days. But let's get back to the PLDT issue. Let me tell you where I am on that. I have called all morning long my contact that I know at the office at PLDT, and for some reason my contact won't answer any of my calls now, and I've called like about a dozen times, and it's just, it rings and rings and rings. I know the scenario. I've done this before, and it's happened many times, and it happens all the time with my builder. They just know, they know who you are, and they know all that you're going to do is complain about something, and they just don't answer the phone. Well, it looks like I have about 70 or 80, something like that, bananas, saba bananas here. And Ness asked me to make sure that I freeze a bunch of these for her so she can use it in her recipes, in her cooking, and her desserts and things like that. Plus we'll use it for the smoothies here. Well, I'm going to put these in the freezer. I only have one left over. I couldn't fit this inside these containers right here. I could probably fit it in this one right here, but I really wanted to do this. Well, let me go ahead and get these. I shouldn't talk while I'm eating. I'm sorry. Well, let me get these in the freezer, and then this still, and believe it or not, there's a little less than half of the bunch is still out there, but I think they're still ripening on that the vine that they came on. And we'll grab some of those later on and distribute it also to some of the workers here. Well, let me go ahead and get these in the freezer, like I said, and then we'll move on to the next thing around the house here. Well, that's about it. It's the end of the day. It's almost 5 o'clock. The guys went home. They had to leave just a little bit early today because we got a lot of rain towards the end of the day. You can see it's pretty wet out here. But we needed the rain. I will say we needed the rain, and I will say it did not affect too much of the construction today. But we didn't get as far as I thought. I thought we were going to get started on the planters. The fixing up of the areas that they did not complete at the bottom of each one of the posts, the fence posts, took the second half of the day. It took them 4 hours to get that done. So, but we're done. I'm pretty sure we're done. I'm not going to walk over there. It's really wet over there right now. But I think everything is done all the way around. I think I can say safely that our fence posts are complete. Remember, the next step is to work on the boxes, the plant boxes over here. So they have the concrete mix, they have the gravel, they have the sand, they have the concrete hollow blocks, they have everything, and they have the rebar. They have everything they need to get started on this first thing whenever they resume work. Now, one of my workers said tomorrow, if it's not raining, he said he will be here working, and he's the elder of the two. Robert is the elder. Now, I'm not sure if the younger of the two is going to come tomorrow because it's All Souls Day. Then the next day is All Saints Day. So that being said, we might just have one guy working here, but the one that would come if it's dry tomorrow, and it's kind of feeling like this might blow over. I know they're getting a lot of stuff up in the north because Ness told me. I don't have any way to check. I have no way to check on the internet right now. I have no way to check for weather at the TV. I can't do TV for streaming. I can't do anything because I don't have internet, and that's another story. But I kept calling, and I finally got through today, but nobody ever called me from PLDT. So day 5, folks, day five without any communications through internet here at Villa Feliz. But I'm trying. I'm still doing my videos regardless of whether PLDT is around for me to push it. Eventually it will be, and eventually you'll get these videos. So again, maybe tomorrow, starting on this planter on this side. That'll be cool, because I've been looking at this one planter over here for such a long time, and it's still not done. It's got to be cut down. It's got to be finished on the inside with some plaster coat and then topper, but it will get there. So let's see. Friday, today is Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday holidays. Friday resume, Friday and Saturday. I will say, I'm going to make a guess, but my guess is always wrong. I'm going to say by the close of business on Saturday, both of these planters will be done. We'll see. Oh, one more thing before I close today. I found one of those little male quick disconnect connectors for the hose reel over there, and I tested it and it's working. What I found it was on another nozzle that I had laying around the house or somewhere, and I went and I checked it out. The only thing is you still have to have a stool to get on that to get up to the water bib. Remember, we're going to remote that water bib down at some other point, not right now, but it works. So if I want to wash the truck, and it needs washing, I'm going to say the truck hasn't been washed in 2 months. It's a mess, and it's bad when you drive up to the gas station and the gas station attendant tells you, you need to wash your truck. Or it's bad when you drive up to the guards when you first come into the subdivision and the guards say, you need to wash your truck. So I need to wash my truck. I'll probably get, if All Saints Day and All Souls Day, if we don't have anybody out here, I will wash the truck. So let me close for today. If you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream Heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video, whenever PLDT gets my internet back up again. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day.